approximately 411 billion people have been diagnosed with vision loss. And this is according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. And that $411 billion is loss of productivity due to blurry vision. In the industry, we call it visual impairments. Those visual impairments, the leading cause of this lost productivity is due to refractive errors, eye diseases, and blindness. Most of these people are over 50 years old. In the eye industry, in the eye care industry, maybe taking you on a journey where you're going to where you will have the opportunity to go on the journey with a light switch analogy, and this is how it goes. When the lights are all the way on, you're sighted. And it goes click, and then all of a sudden, there's a vision loss. You may be born with a congenital disease, have muscles that are out of alignment, amblyopia or strabismus, but most of us who start our journey started in elementary school. And that's where my journey begins. Hey, it's all about the jeans you wear, the kind you get from mom and dad, thank you very much. No, it's not the kind you wear, it's the kind you get from mom and dad. You know, it's the craziest thing. I was in 3rd grade, and I wasn't doing so well. I was having a great time sitting in the back row. And I thought that, oh, not a big deal, you know, having fun playing, until the parent-teacher conference happened, and the teacher said to my mom and dad, she's going to have to repeat the 3rd grade, but you might want to check her eyes first. So my mom did what moms do. I went to the optometrist, and soon afterwards I picked up my fancy pink cat eye frames, and whoa! I could see the leaves on trees at a distance for the first time in my life. Yeah, how many of you started your vision loss journey in elementary school? Yeah, and that pink pair of glasses was my first pair of assistive technology. This assists me at seeing at a distance. Fast forward to I'm in college. I'm still not a really good student. It's not because I'm not such a great reader, but I looked at the pictures, and when I was in college, I was an environmental health major. I had to take physics. I took optics. I came home one day and I said to my dad, hey, I got my first academic A in optics. He said to me, what does that tell you? Find a job. And he's in the kitchen. It's so clear. He's in the kitchen making his signature omelet. And he said, find a job in the industry and see if you like it. If you do, make it your career, so it feels like you're never working a day in your life. I took his advice. I've done this as an optician for over 4 decades, helping people look better and see more. And that journey has taken me to the place of understanding more about my eyes. So, I am nearsighted. I've got sighted near. Yeah, I can read a book with my nose. I need distance correction. I have myopia, myopia. For people who have, especially in the elementary years when you need more magnification up close, you can see in a distance, great. That's hyperopia, hyperopia. Now, for people who have blurry vision all the time, they can't see distance, they can't see close up, they have astigmatism, astigmatism. That means you have 2 focal points. So the back of our eye, we have something called the macula. The macula is the target in the back of our eye. And when a person has myopia or hyperopia, there's 1 focal point. But with astigmatism, there's 2. And the refractive errors that I was talking about, this is it. The light bends in the eye, and it needs to hit the target. So if a person has myopia with astigmatism or hyperopia with astigmatism. That's part of the 7 refractive errors. So here we are. Our light switch goes and gets a little less light. Happens about, starts at 20, but usually people are in denial until they're about 40 years old. And their arms aren't long enough to read the fine print in a restaurant or a book. Long arm syndrome. Okay, so they need to have a correction magnification to bring it up close. My mom had great distance vision. She never had to have glasses, a prescription. So she wore cheaters. She went to the drugstore and got her +1, +125, 150s, 2s, whatever, magnification to bring it up close. She still, to this day, swears that she never needed glasses. No, just the magnification to bring it up. For those of us who have to wear the distance prescription all the time, we wear something called progressive addition lenses. It's your pal, it's your friend. Most people just call it progressives, and that's cool. Yeah, when I was in high school, I wore bifocals, 2 focal points, one for distance and one for near, and I had a line. I had to jump over it. I felt like I was doing the funky chicken. Really bad. You know, I wish I knew about chiropractors back then. Some people still wear them, okay? Oh, and there's another kind of a lens, just really quickly. It's a computer lens. So this needs a prescription. The top part is for the computer, and the bottom part is for reading, and there's no line, so it's a multifocal, and that helps. And by the way, you have that funny blue-purple coating, and that's an anti-reflective coating, and it protects your eyes against the harmful blue rays coming in. The next phase, going down, is 50s, 60s, 70s, and guess what? The natural lens in your eye starts to form a cataract. How many of you guys really know what a cataract is? Huh? Yeah, you've maybe experienced that. So for those of you who just hear the word, you know what it is, I'll give you an example. Take a pan, a frying pan, and fill it with some water, and take an egg, crack it open, and what you see is the yolk, and then the other part that we call the white part of the egg, but it's the albumin. Okay, and look at, you can see clear through that part of the egg. Now turn the oven on, stove on, and you'll start to see some gray whispers, and then some clumps. Now when the light comes in and it bends and it hits that, it bounces off, and those are reflections you get at night. That's why night driving is just so tough, or it's just blurry. You go to the doctors and you say, I just don't see clearly. Doctor gives you a new prescription, and you put them on, and it's still blurry. You can't see clearly. You don't see even clearer. You go back to the doctor, and then you get the news. You've got the beginning of cataracts. And that's why you don't see clearer. So you say, but I can't see clearer. I don't see good. And the doctor says, it's not ready. So just like that egg, we're watching that egg, and the white gets more white, until you have a poached egg. We don't want to wait until you get a poached egg. That means it's like overripe. So what happens is we've got the eggshell analogy, a biconvex lens that it holds the fluid on the inside. They have to take a probe and go in and break up that white, that cataract. It's called phacoemulsification. And then they got to suck it out, and there's nothing there. I'm going to use another analogy, a football analogy. You guys can maybe relate to this one. Okay, you take a football, and what happens when the air goes out? You can't throw it anymore. Okay, what do you have to do? You got to fill it up with air. Okay, so with a cataract, we've sucked out the middle part. We've got to replace it with a contact lens. with power. That's called an intraocular lens, or an IOL. So this is the analogy of like a cataract or Cadillacs. You got to pay either way. If you have put distance lenses in there, then insurance picks up most of it. If you have monovision, one eye for distance and one eye for near, then also not too much extra money. But when you want to get a multifocal, a progressive lens inside that place, cha-ching, just like you pay extra for all the extra features in a Cadillac. Now, you have that astigmatism. You get a toric lens inside there, and cha-ching, it's extra money. You got to pay either way, all these extra features. They put it in there, and for most people, it's a successful surgery. It's real easy. But sometimes people get cataracts because of a car accident or some kind of trauma, and stuff doesn't go well. There's somebody in the audience now who has a story where that lens didn't stay inside the shell. They had to put it on the outside. So it's somewhere between her natural lens and the iris, the colored part of her eyes. Darn it, that's just life. Stuff happens. Also, if a person, the next phase is it gets a little darker and you have diseases. Your body has diseases. If people have diabetes, you understand that the back part of the eye is going to get diabetic retinopathy, that the vessels are going to weaken, and you get splotches of vision, darkness. When a person has diabetes for a long period of time, it also compromises the front surface of the eye. I had a patient, she was 24 years old, and I needed to put a bandaged contact lens on her. This is when I was doing as a contact lens specialist. I was working as a contact lens specialist. So there are different ways of taking care of different modalities. And if you have a disease and you've taken corticosteroids, for example, watch out, because the small print says one of the contraindications is glaucoma. Glaucoma is peripheral vision loss. Can you imagine driving and trying to dodge the blind spots? Really tough. Glaucoma is that test where they test you either with the eye puff or the machine comes up to you, or the pin, the tonal pin that goes beep, 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 and then they check the pressure in your eye. The other medications that you take for high blood pressure, that could cause more compound effects besides just the glaucoma. If a person has high cholesterol or on birth control pills, dry eye syndrome. Yeah. Okay, that next going down is have another candle on your birthday cake. You're about your 80s. And you get diseases like age-related macular degeneration. And that is when you have freckles in the back of your eye. And the back of the eye, those photoreceptors are no longer nourished. They're the rods for light and the cones for color. And they flick off and form debris. Those are the freckles. When you're younger, the freckles are cute. When you're older, they're age spots. They're pretty darn ugly. Okay? And the best way to keep the back of the eye nourished is to eat your leafy greens, carrots, and pistachios. I have a dear friend, Sue, who she lost her vision due to macular degeneration. And she first had the age-related, and then she had the other form that was wet, and the vessel broke. She had to get shots in her eye. This is all leading up to there's so much technology that we can use to help. I helped Sue with the accessibility feature in her computer. Within this journey, there's the final click, blindness. In here, the messy middle, it's still light. It's still light. Within this journey of vision, we need to, those of us who are sighted or somewhere in the middle, need to understand those people who are losing their vision, that are going blind, to help see more clearly, to step into the place of becoming empowered. Help them see more clearly now that the blur has shifted.